All right, let's begin, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to the Fremont for Everyone Candidate Forum. Thank you for stepping up and agreeing to serve for a year. Fremont for Everyone is an organization that dates back to the Housing Navigation Center in Fremont. It was a band of us who got together to try to support the city to build our first navigation center to help the unhoused. And since then, it's taken a lot of different permutations. We've had to push back on the city on certain issues. We've lobbied at the state policy level and the local level and the county level. And we have a lot of fresh faces today, which is great to see. Today is all about getting to know our new leadership board for this next year. And so, without further ado, what I'm going to do is actually put the first question up on. Let me know if everyone can see this. It's kind of a no. Anybody? I see nods, thumbs up.
We see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. All right. So I just instead of me talking, I'm gonna hear from the candidates. The first question really is an introduction question, kind of get to know you question. So please introduce yourself and then answer this first question. What has been your experience with housing advocacy in general, and specifically for Fremont, with Fremont for Everyone? In no particular order, I'm going to start with Kate.
Thank you, Hayes. My name is Kate Amon, and I got involved with the housing advocacy like many when we were shocked by the NIMBYism and pushback against the sensible plan to have a housing navigation center built here in Fremont. So I was also one of the friends of the Housing Navigation Center. And after that, I got more involved again at the beginning of this year, where I felt like housing as a human right was a higher priority that I wanted to emphasize this year. And so I've learned from people with difficulties as renters, and then people with no shelter at all. So I've learned a lot this year. And so I've got a lot more experience with housing advocacy than I did at the start. We visited people in the encampments. We've visited people using their vehicles as shelter. And yeah, and we've seen tiny homes and all sorts of things, solutions that are out there that should get implemented. And so this is specifically as my activity with Fremont for Everyone. I'm glad I stepped up as a lead, and yeah, we've been letting the city council know that we want humane and effective solutions, not criminalization. And many of us attended all the city council meetings trying to oppose the implementation of this passing of this camping ban, which just enables, in the end game, would be to allow private prison industry to profit by locking up more people. That's why I have my "No Human is Illegal" shirt on today, because I feel very strongly about that. And we've been doing, yeah, so in March we did a big outreach to 2 encampments with a big march, big barbecue. And that's just a little bit of it. Thank you.
Whoa, okay, that was a little shocking. Sorry. Thank you, Kate. Next, Annie.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Annie. I use they, them pronouns, and I've also been involved with Fremont for Everyone since the beginning. I led our tabling effort when we were fighting for the Navigation Center, and have been around, been involved and been in leadership ever since then, because just fundamentally, I believe that we ought to build a just community and a just society more broadly, right? And that means that we need to have just and equitable housing solutions. We need to protect renters. We need to make sure that we have an adequate housing supply. We need to make sure that we have affordable housing in our community. We need to make sure that we have navigation centers and data-driven solutions to prevent and address these problems, right? Like homelessness and housing inaffordability. And so I've been around in Fremont for Everyone, done a lot of stuff. My kind of bread and butter, the stuff I love to do, is policy work. I've been up to Sacramento several times for YIMBY Lobby Day. I've worked on our policy committee. Right now, we're just getting started on a policy, trying to make sure that the mobile showers come back online. In Fremont, we had them for a while, and now we don't have them, and that's really a problem. We need to fix that. And so on our policy team, right, we're just getting started on that. And so I hope to continue to be able to lead in this way, make sure that we're right thinking on a structural level, on a policy fix level. For Fremont for Everyone, I would love to continue in leadership another year. And so I've been, I guess, quite involved with Fremont for Everyone, and also done some other housing advocacy stuff, especially renters' rights with the Democratic Party. So I have I don't know, multiple experiences in the housing and housing justice advocacy space.
Thank you, Annie. Next up, Brian.
Well, I guess it's me. Hello all. Whenever you're ready for the timer?
Yeah, go
Perfect.
for it.
Hello all, my name is Brian
Oh, it's a
Tor.
soft timer. So,
Self timer sounds good. Well, my name is Brian Tor. I am a resident of Fremont as of a few years ago. I wasn't here for the Housing Navigation Center, but I joined up with Fremont for Everyone after news of the encampment ban. My personal background has been more in criminal justice reform as well as general advocacy for public records. But the camping ban was such a definitive action taken by the city that needed to be opposed. So I knew about Fremont for Everyone before, but joined in the Facebook group shortly after to see where else we could help. I saw on the Facebook group that folks were doing outreach for the encampments and have been supporting those efforts ever since. I've been mainly taking the example of Isaiah and others on the call to go ahead and reach out to folks who are unhoused and to see how we can aid and support. It's definitely important that we continue to try to identify interim housing solutions for folks, increase the amount of affordable housing within Fremont. My personal focus so far within Fremont for Everyone has been in supplying mutual aid for the encampments that have continued to proliferate throughout Fremont despite whatever the city may want. I consider it to be important work. I'm grateful for the opportunity that an organization like this that allows for these opportunities to merge. And I'm hoping that in my candidacy for the leadership for Fremont for Everyone, to be able to contribute and to help others have these experiences in aiding with community mutual aid and generally having the power to go ahead and enact change for their own communities through legislation, public advocacy. I think it's powerful and a reminder that folks should be able to have a say in how to reform their own communities and their own cities. Thanks.
thank you, Brian, for all your work. Um, Next up, Atharva. Mic is yours.
Hi, is the timer starting or okay. Hi, I'm Atharva Sanune and I'm a student at Ohlone College. I just graduated high school and I've always been interested in advocacy surrounding policy in Fremont as a whole. I've worked on the school newspaper back when I was in high school, the Hatchet, and I actually found out about Fremont for Everyone when I was working on the Hatchet for the camping ban. As you can see, I spoke with many people in the community. I spoke with the mayor, I spoke with council members, I spoke with Mr. Bonacorsi here, as well as interviewed a bunch of the unhoused people who are living in many of the encampments around the city, especially the one near Washington Boulevard and Fremont Boulevard where they intersect. So I've really gotten a deep understanding of what the issues are in the community, and I really hope to be in a position where I can help make change within the community and really act upon what I've found out through my work as a journalist as well as just a resident of Fremont. I've been in Fremont for over 10 years, and over this time, I haven't really had the chance to really interact with the community aside from canvassing for a school board member and working on the newspaper. There isn't really much a high schooler could have done. But now that I'm almost an adult and I'm ready to get I'm in college now, I can really enforce what I believe in and really create change in a community that has given so much to me.
Thank you, Atharva. And I thank you for, I
I
commend
was
you
there
for
before
stepping
you
up.
were, pal. You call it around the corner. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Atharva. Appreciate you stepping up. It's really important work we do, and we need some younger folks to start to step up just like you. Next is Rachel. Is Rachel in yet? I think I saw.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, it's the mic is yours.
All right. Well, I joined FFE from next door pretty much. My name is Rachel Cooney. On there, I went by Rachel Love, where I would try to encourage the community to, be kind and compassionate to the unhoused. And David reached out to me through there. And I have my best friend Grace, who's here with me, who will also be having a turn soon. We've been best friends for like a decade. She's also she's a single disabled mother who is experiencing homelessness right now. She's living camping in front of my house as we speak. We're in her RV. And FFE, when David and also Kate met up with us, we were just really grateful to be able to have some organization and an outlet that we could join. And we went every week during the camping ban and spoke at City Council. We've been to the Pride Fair, where I have my daughter make signs. My teenage daughter makes signs for all of the, rallies and just all of that type of stuff. I would like to foster a sense of connectedness in this community. I want to encourage people to be there for one another. I'm an advocate and a caregiver. I've had to advocate for people medically. I've had to advocate for my best friend. We are currently fighting her slumlord in court, but she will tell you about that. Yeah, I'm just really grateful to be here and to have this organization and outlet. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. At least something good comes out of next door.
Yeah, I'm on Nextdoor quite often trying to, bite harder than whoever is posting something unpleasant to read. And also just for the same reason Rachel likes to go on there to kind of, make people realize a different perspective than their, the one that they have just from their, perceived, what's the word I'm looking for?
Preconception, what their preconceptions were, right? Yeah.
Yeah. By privilege, a lot of times their capability to see anything else is blocked by their privilege, so they don't have an understanding for other people. But basically, I was in a slum. Okay, I was living there with my grandfather. He passed away, and I was not able to pay the rent on my own. So I was not able to get any other new tenants because the house was just terrible. I mean, the plumbing, the wiring, it was dilapidated everywhere. They removed a post from like a structurally integral post from the front of the house. Just a terrible mess. And we found out that these landlords are doing this to multiple people. I met one of the other tenants. So I've decided to fight pretty hard, and I won as far as they tried to bring an illegal eviction against me during a time where it was under citation from the city. So they didn't have any right to do that, but they did it. The courts allowed it to continue for a really long time. And I finally beat that part of it. And now I'm going to be suing her. And I have my lawyer working on it. I think it's going to be next week now. There's a lot of evidence. So I really want to be able to, because I've experienced a lot of these things. I am experienced the things that people are struggling with right now out there. And what
Yeah.
I want to be able to
Rachel,
do
yeah. Rachel,
is
I'm going to give you an opportunity because there's a question that you would love at the end of this to share this experience. I think all of us are. I'm going to move it on to Grace now, actually. I know
that
she's
was
right
great.
now.
That was
Oh, that was
great.
Grace. I'm so sorry.
Rachel left the building. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, continue. I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh,
catch that.
it's okay. Yeah, no, I meant David when I went with Rachel and Kate to meet him after she met him through Nextdoor. And so we became part of FFE. I also spoke both at the homeless um what is their organization? Coalition. Yeah, the Homeless Coalition. I'm part of that. I tried to speak at the city hall, right, where they had the press out there at one point, and I always want to go and speak in city hall as well, and just kind of help be the one who has gone through it. And I'm very passionate. I am disabled, but I accomplish so much more than I don't sit idly by well. And it makes me angry when people are bullied and when things are unfair, and I want to do something about it. And it's just I got that fire in my bones. So yeah, and I have a lot of. Before I was disabled, I was a manager. I managed over 50 people for 7 years. So I have a lot of. I helped create their whole customer service, their whole like wiki. I did all that, so I have a very organized background, and I have experience being making things are efficient and just streamlined. And I think that's it. Yeah, I'm happy to be part of this.
Right. Thank you, Grace, for giving us so much details. Next, Jenna, are you ready? So the first question is up on the board. I'm sure you can see it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Right. We know the drill. Yeah.
Thank you again for giving me another opportunity to run. I have been part of Fremont for Everyone leadership since 2022. And in that time, I have served as the communications director as well as to organizing a lot of the events that we did from, me and Dave, we organized a lot of the big event that we did at the beginning of the year when we were trying to fight the camping ban. And it's been a fantastic experience, one that I really love, just being able to get out into the community and just be able to do whatever we can to help those who are most vulnerable. I've really been impressed with Kate's leadership too, especially how much she's done bringing resources and all kinds of stuff to the unhoused people who are living in the slabs. And it's been a fantastic team overall. Annie and Mary Lynn joined us last year, and Lisa, of course, who's just been a rock, just doing all the notes. And I think right now in this time where we're just seeing it just completely amped up, just the hatred of the unhoused, from what we saw during the night that horrible camping ban was passed, all the people in Fremont saying such despicable things. Brian Kilmeade on Fox News just casually saying, "Let's kill them." Like we're in a rising time of fascism, and we have to be able to do all we can to stick together. And even though I've also been dealing with being underhoused myself and wasn't able to do as much as I could this year, I still want to be able to um, continue the work, just the fantastic work that we've done. We've become such a huge voice for people who are disgusted by everything that they're seeing in the city of Fremont. And I take it as a huge responsibility to make sure that everyone, not just those who are able to have a house, but everybody, all of our Fremont residents who are underhoused or in RVs or unhoused, they deserve the right to be able to have a voice because they're the ones that have the hardest time to be able to have a voice. And so if I'm lucky enough to be back, it would be an honor to be able to fight alongside everyone for another year. So thank you all.
Thank you, Jenna, for your passion. We're lucky to have you.
Oh.
So I wanted to check if Isaiah is not able to join tonight. Is that still?
It's going to be closer till 7, so we'll let him jump in at the last minute as maybe a finale.
Okay.
Yeah, I want him to be on the team too. So I hope
he let me know that his work will keep him away till almost 7.
Okay.
In that case, we're just going to move on to the next question here. Bear with me for one moment. All right. So question number 2, please describe your vision for Fremont for Everyone as an organization. What goals do you have for the group? And the first, I will have Kate kick it off.
Thank you, Hayes. My vision for Fremont for Everyone as an organization is that we have ramped up and added more actions that can be taken towards the goal of upholding our unhoused and underhoused neighbors. And I think we have the freedom within our organization for people to further the goals that are important to them. There's some who really favor the hands-on action, the outreach, direct outreach to the encampments, our neighbors in vehicles, renter struggles, that direct action. And then there's people who also value the long range vision of working on policy and bills that will improve the amount of affordable housing. And then there's also working with community organizations and the city with willing partners to get humane and effective solutions in place instead of criminalization. And so I see us as enabling our members to be able to do all the actions that work for them, because we're doing so much now that it's quite difficult for anyone to do all of it, and it's really not reasonable for everyone to try to do everything. So we're going to keep pushing for a better life for everyone here in Fremont, and that housing is a human right and not just a privilege for the wealthy. And that's my goal, to make that what we can all do. And so I want people to have the flexibility of doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Next, let's go to Annie.
Oh, I just realized my camera's off. Oops. I believe, right, that Fremont for Everyone should be a vehicle, a hub, a space to fight for housing justice in our community. And the reason that that's vague is because there are many, many, many ways to do that, right? On the one hand, right, trying to pass policies and laws to make the structures that govern our housing situation, right, can be a really effective way to make sure that our communities are more just. On the other hand, right, some people need their basic needs met like right now. And so providing mutual aid also is a great way to make our community more just, more equitable, and make it so more people can have a more dignified life. All right, I have more experience on the policy and that sort of advocacy side of things. And right, I love doing that. I have loved the work that we have done in our policy committee, from commenting on the housing element to organizing with YIMBY for lobby days to looking at safe parking. Right, that's another policy that really needs to get implemented all the way. That's something that I would love to work on as well. Right, I've loved that. But that means that I think we need both. That we need people who are interested and people who have experience in both on our leadership team. And that's what's going to make our leadership team and our organization the absolute strongest it can be, right? We need some some policy wonks, some policy nerds. We need people who are super comfortable with and like super down to go out and engage in direct action and mutual aid. And so I think that that is a great direction, right? That we're going in as an organization, that we have all of these things that we are doing concurrently. And that's going to make it so that we have the most impact in our community, the most positive impact, and can help the most people, like the most and the best that we can.
Thank you very much. Next up is Brian.
Hello. I think I overall agree with mainly what's been said so far. I think that we should be supporting sort of diversity of opinions and perspectives in terms of how we want to go ahead and achieve housing justice for all, be that through policy or mutual aid. I feel that the work done so far is admirable, and there are definitely ways that we can continue to focus and try to tackle the ever-increasing problems that we see within Fremont, be it from the camping ban or the continued fact, the realities of the housing situation in the Bay Area. I would say, in my personal perspective, in terms of my vision for Fremont for everyone as an organization, I think it falls more into the tapestry of organizations throughout Fremont and maybe throughout the Bay Area as well. We can see as the administration in the White House looks to cramp down on liberal institutions, I think there's an importance in ensuring that our institutions at the local level are resilient and have the capacity to organize in opposition to these. I think so far within Fremont, I've seen incredible turnout for No King Days. I've seen incredible turnout for the camping ban opposition. I think there are ways that definite energy within the community that can be channeled to achieving concrete policy goals as well as mutual aid goals in terms of supporting the unhoused as well as those who are struggling with for housing. I would like Fremont for Everyone to be a part of that tapestry. It is already, but I can see it as that key pivotal moment as one of the earlier organizations within Fremont, specifically already on top of these issues, and a definite bedrock that can be built off of to support other organizations and other folks who are interested in becoming more involved in their communities in working on things like housing justice and other areas of mutual interest as we continue to see the developing political situation across the Bay.
Thank you very much, Brian. Next up is Atharva.
Yeah, like the other candidates, I completely agree with many of their goals and policy decisions that they might make. And I think that the perspective, Brian mentioned that he would like to have a diversity of opinion. He believes that Fremont for Everyone, since it's for everyone, would benefit from a diverse set of opinions, a range of beliefs. And I think I bring that as a student, as someone who's grown up in Fremont for almost 10 years now and has really seen people in various stages of life. I think I bring that opinion and I bring that perspective that many people just might not have. Especially as a student, I have a student at a community college. I see people all the time from all walks of life. So my classmate to the left might be unhoused, and my classmate to the right might live in the Mission Hills. And I think that really fosters a sense of community. And one of my main goals is going to be to outreach in these schools, in these other places, because as a student myself, I never knew about Fremont for Everyone until I took the initiative to really reach out to Mr. Bonacorsi and find out what the organization was about. Without reaching out, I just wouldn't have known. And I think that's something that really needs to be emphasized. Fremont for Everyone needs to market itself, have those social media channels in such a way that it truly becomes for everyone, because when everyone knows about it, that's when it will be something that can create change for everyone in the community. So I think through my participation at school, through my participation in various clubs around Fremont, especially athletic clubs, I go swimming sometimes, I can really start to know and really start to connect with the people and really bring Fremont for Everyone to everyone in Fremont. Thank you.
That's a great campaign slogan right there. I love it. Next up, Rachel.
Don't know.
There you go.
Hello. Um, my vision for Fremont for everyone. Well, obviously, I want it to be like others have said, a place for everyone, lots of different, views. That's always good. Plus, we need to learn to come together with people with all kinds of views. That's what we really need right now is, unity. I myself haven't had a ton of experience with policy, though I am a quick learner and I have the passion. Um, I've gained a lot of hands-on experience, being down in the trenches. I'm continuing to gain that experience. What I personally believe is that if everyone just took the time to do what they can do, maybe we can't fix this thing or that thing, but whatever you can do that's right in front of you, at least at the moment, if we all just made kinder, more empathetic choices, the world would be a better place. If we had more volunteers, even just, 10% or something of the population, it would be um, just so much better. Um, I, want to focus on community outreach for me personally. Like I tend to, run into people all over when I'm shopping, when I'm, going to appointments, when I'm doing whatever. Um, Linda, for example, I'm sure everybody here knows and remembers Linda. She, she's a senior citizen and she, has spoken at city council meetings and, has these wild stories. But she's really just a senior citizen with brain damage and she's homeless and she's treated like a feral cat, really. And what I think, as an example, something I would like to do for her is maybe go with her to social services and advocate to maybe get her on an assisted living waiver, which I've also had experience doing because I've had to do that for my mom. I'm sorry, I don't really know what else to say right now, but that's it.
Thank you, Rachel. Lived experience is really important, I think. Understanding from that perspective and knowing what levers that you have available to you is invaluable. So next up, Grace.
Hello. So what I envision for Fremont for everyone is just kind of more, like we need to touch more people. I think it's the same message everybody's talking about, community. And I would like us to maybe try to take advantage of other, like No Kings, for example. They have a really, large following. And if we can put like our protests on their site, and they have also really easy ways to sign petitions or send a letter to somebody. I think if we can utilize that more, that would be great, to just help us grow and to reach more people, because we're in a small place, but we're still fighting the same fight that people are fighting all over the country. So I like that idea. I just want to be able to do more. I want us to grow and just be able to do more, touch more people, make more noise, and just have some more processes more streamlined so that it's easier to know what to do when you do come across with someone, and and be able to educate others to do the same thing. People that we come across who want to help out, to just have it right there to know how to tell them, okay, this is what you can do, this is who you can call, you know what I mean? Just have like some kind of a book, an instruction book or something. But I would just like to see more of us just doing more and being heard more. And I have some ideas of how to do that. And I also want to kind of touch the people who are living in slumlord situations. You know, a lot of these people, they're in these homes because they're the cheapest homes. You know, they feel like they don't have any rights. Their pest control is not covered, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And these are all violations. Yeah, I'm very familiar with tenant rights. My grandmother was a real estate broker, and I had my real estate license very early. I was involved in all kinds of stuff when it came to, I know the ins and outs, and I took the courses, and I'd like to help people know their rights and take advantage of their rights and know what to do and know that they're even what's happening to them is not legal and not okay, because we're going to lose those rights. They're so hard to it's so hard to fight a slumlord, and it needs to be easier, and that's the reason why people don't do it. It's just so hard. They just move on to a different house, and then that problem still exists for the next people. And I think it should be a responsibility of people to report these things, because otherwise it's just you're passing the buck. So, I mean, I would like to do some outreach as far as that goes. And I think that's it.
Thank you very much. And last of all, Jenna.
Thank you again, everybody. Like I said in my last question, watching this organization grow these past 3 years has been super inspiring. We started out mostly as just like a policy-oriented group, which was great. You know, like we are one of the big reasons why we're able to get the Housing Navigation Center to pass in the first place. And I am very confident in our ability to affect policy. But I also agree a lot with, I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Is it Atarva?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, great. Atarva and Brian and Grace, I really want to see Fremont for Everyone also, you know, kind of on top of continuing being this great policy organization, start to really move towards marketing and branding in the sense that when people think about fighting the unhoused, we're one of the first things that are on people's minds. You know, along with Dave and others, we've done so many town halls um, with Alex Lee and his social housing. And for the mayoral election last year, we did the town hall where we got people to directly engage with those who are going to be making policy and those who want to make policy. And that was a vision that I started out with last year that I didn't get to quite expand on. So for me personally, I'm going to be focusing a lot on whether it's getting town hall events where we can have, you know, especially city council members who voted and the mayor who voted for the camping ban. Give those of us, you know, because I truly do believe that the loudest people in the room that night that passed the camping ban were not the ones that really represent the city of Fremont. They're a small but loud minority. And that's how it always is. And so I want to be able to, like everyone else said, on a human level, get to be able to connect everybody in this community and be able to have a voice and be able to directly reach out to those who have a huge effect on the most vulnerable in our community, because we're only as strong as our most vulnerable people, right? And you're not going to be able to function as a society if we're leaving those who need the most help in the dust, right? And so I'm very much going to be focused on how we can get our message out to a broader audience and how we're going to be able to effectively bring the community together by being able to, instead of, you know, talking past each other, talk with each other. So
Thank you very much for that, Jenna. So we've gone through 2 questions and we got one more final one to go. These are great responses. I'm really energized hearing everyone's energy and their different experiences and what they bring to the table. So the next question, let's see if I can get this up here. What unique skills and knowledge will you bring to the leadership team of Fremont for Everyone? If you've already covered.
Oh, sorry, if I could step in, I read that 50. So if no one else has to go, I think we should let Brian go first.
All right, sounds good. Brian.
Appreciate it, Jenna. Appreciate
Yeah.
it, Hayes. Thanks. Fortunately, if something came up, I'll keep it quick. I just have experience in helping organize groups in college as well as in my professional career. I'm primarily, in terms of my candidacy for the leadership team of Fremont, I'm just looking to go ahead, maybe fulfill a secretary role or a technology role. I find that groups generally need helps in these areas, so I'm happy to sign on and support in terms of that logistical organizational capacity. I mean, on the side for Fremont for Everyone, I help out with the mutual aid work. I'm looking to go ahead and help out more with the specific city council advocacy. I view that kind of work more in terms of just being a member of Fremont for Everyone. That's my key interest. So the pitch for I have for the leadership team is just I take really good notes and I'm happy to go ahead and help. And I know how to run Zoom meetings and have familiarity with the technology, and I'm happy to help out there. If that's something that folks feel that Fremont for Everyone needs, I'm happy to join on to the board. If it isn't something that needs to happen, I'm still grateful for the opportunity to be here with Fremont for Everyone. I'll have stuff that I'm happy to reach out to folks that I could use help with, and I'll be reaching out to folks to see if there's anything they need help with as well. I'm gonna use my time. Thank you.
I think we might have found Lisa's replacement for notes.
I want to say, I'm going to take my last 40 seconds actually. Thank you all for letting me be here. It's great meeting folks virtually and hearing for the amount of passion that folks have for the organization. I'm sorry I won't be able to hear everyone's unique skills and knowledges, but I'll be sure to listen to the recording. Anyways, take care all.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, this will be recorded and then posted, so you can always view this at a later date. So next, to answer this question, let's go back to Kate.
Thank you, Hayes. Background experience, unique experience I have is that I have been the president of the Christmas Club since 2005 here in North Fremont, coordinating 80 neighbors to have a neighborhood holiday display and charity drive. So definitely less politically contentious than Fremont for Everyone was this year. But yeah, being able to maintain relations in a group of all unpaid volunteers and respecting everyone's time and abilities and energy is something that's very important. And shockingly, you don't always find that in organizations, sad to say. So I think we're doing pretty well. We could maybe do a little better in our group, and we'll keep working at it. And goals I have is we're going to push for things specifically like safe RV parking. That's looking hopeful. I know some people want to work on tiny homes. We'll work on that. And we're going to also move forward with our coalition of caring. We're overdue to send an email to all of our allies in the opposition of criminalization of the unhoused to reforge those networks, which I think are really critical, especially like as Brian was pointing out in these political times, we need to knit our networks together tighter and improve our communications and our effectiveness at getting things done. So I would like in our social media to also amplify the voices of our allies. So maybe we post something that doesn't seem specifically like housing, but it's a action of an ally, and we should do more of that and expand to Blue Sky. And we will post stuff on our we'll update the website. I have plans for that. I would like us to be fremontforeveryone.org, frankly, so maybe we can get a pointer. There's a lot of web stuff, tech stuff, so having more people who can take notes, that is awesome. I love that. And I think we look like we have a lot of energized people to be a great team. And one of the first things we should do in our leadership meeting is we'll figure out roles, because I think people already have in mind actions where they want to put their efforts. And I think it will mesh nicely together and allow us to be a really great, effective team and get a lot of stuff done that we can be proud of and make us feel more empowered in a time where it can be very dispiriting and feel like our country is sliding into despotism. So go Fremont for everyone.
Thank you, Kate. That was very uplifting. I think we all needed to hear that. Next up, Annie.
Yeah, in years past, I would answer this question, right? I would say, well, I'm a young person, I'm a student, we need young perspectives, right? We need young people to organize. And that's also fundamentally true, right? I fundamentally believe that oftentimes young people are not adequately represented in organizing spaces. But I'm so glad that I am not the only young person, that I'm not the only student running for election this time. So I'm not going to say that. Instead, I'm going to say that I am very involved in a whole host of spaces in our community, at the local level, as well as at the state, and in some places at the national level too. I sit on the executive board of the Alameda County Democratic Party. I'm a state delegate on our state central committee for the Democrats, and I'm on the board of the California Democratic Party Renters Council, where we fight like hell at the state level for renters issues. In fact, right after I get off this call, I'm going to have to hop on another call at the state level to try and get strong pro-renter positions in our party platform. And so I bring a lot of different relationships and connections that I hope that we can lean on in this upcoming year, right? I've heard from multiple candidates that some of the things that they want to do are to build out our relationships, our name, work with other organizations, be part of larger, right, groups, informal, sometimes more formal coalitions. And to do that effectively, right, fundamentally, I think that you need relationships. And so, right, I come with a lot of relationships with a lot of other really good, really progressive organizations that I hope that we can work together, right, on renters' rights, on mutual aid, on community organizing, things that are all really important and that I would love to have Fremont for everyone, work with other organizations and like do collectively and build our collective strength and our collective power.
Thank you, Annie. Last I checked, Democrats are still pretty strong in California, so we got that going. And sometimes whatever happens here echoes across the country, so thank you for your work on that. Next up, Atharva.
Yeah, like Annie said, I'm glad I'm not the only student here. I'm not the only young person who's really advocating for change. And I think that overall, my unique skills, aside from being a young person, really resound around communication. I've always been interested in journalism. I worked on my school's newspaper for 2 years, but I've also been involved in many community oriented clubs, whether that was my school's chemistry club, which at face value may seem just like a STEM-based club. I actually organized and reached out to many elementary schools across the Fremont Unified School District in an effort to help students understand and develop their passions for science, because sciences are one of the main ways many students are able to build careers and build their futures. More important, I keep volunteering at events all around the Bay Area, whether that be at Foothill College as a volunteer for a physics show where they brought in over 20,000 elementary school students to demonstrate physics for these children. And these kids were also from underprivileged areas. So it was really an opportunity for them to understand the meaning and importance of science as a way to help them get ahead in the future. Aside from that, I'm also really active in like business organizations. I'm active in my college community, and I think that activeness is something that really defines me as a person. I'm always there. I'm always taking the initiative. I'm always trying to help the person next to me, whoever that might be. I'm always trying to talk with a person. I'm always trying to communicate with anyone, whether that be on a bike ride to around the Bay Area and just meeting random people, speaking with them, learning about their experiences. I once met a person at a gas station in Vallejo while biking, and I really got to connect with him. I got to understand his struggles as an immigrant, understand his efforts trying to move out of the Bay Area because he couldn't afford housing here, and many more things surrounding that. So I really hope that as I grow, if I'm elected, I can really communicate with people, connect with these people, and create a community in the Bay Area, especially in Fremont, that cares about people, turning NIMBYism into YIMBYism. Thank you.
Thank you, Atharva. Fremont for Everyone is a duocracy, so you're in very good company here. Next up, Rachel.
Hello again. I just got to say NIMBYism to YIMBYism. I liked that. But I personally, would bring, I'm an advocate. As I've said, I'm passionately compassionate. And I want to bring that to the community, encourage that in the community. Yeah, I just have experience helping people in lots of different positions. I am sorry. Um, I just want to help people and also encourage others to be helpful. And I'm passionate about it. I have experience advocating for, medical reasons. I have experience advocating for the underhoused or unhoused. I have experience just loving people pretty much. And that's what I want to bring. And that's what I want to encourage. I want to do the personal touch. I'm the person that'll be out there, just encouraging others to do individual things wherever they can and doing the same myself.
Thank you for that, Rachel. I see Isaiah has joined. What we're going to do is continue the rest of these questions, and I'm going to give him the spotlight. I'll let him adjust a little bit. So you're on notice, and 3 more speakers. I'm going to I'll let you introduce yourself as well. So next up, Grace.
Well, what I bring is, I am the marginalized, group right now. I am homeless and I'm dealing with these struggles, but I still, I'm finding ways to, I was living with a slumlord. I found ways to get that dealt with, and I want to be able to show other people how to do the same thing. I'm definitely am dedicated. I'm like a pit bull or whatever. When I get something, I go after it completely. It's not like this whole lawsuit thing with my slumlord. I mean, it was an awful experience, but I persevered, and that's what I do. I persevere.
Thank you
And I'm
very much.
passionate.
We're going to need a lot of perseverance. It's a fight that never seems to end. So next we have Jenna.
Yeah, so the strengths and unique skills that I bring to Fremont for Everyone is I am, as every other extroverted, people-friendly person, I just enjoy being around people. I enjoy being able to do what I can to feed off the energy, the positive energy that comes from being in a group and being able to take that and translate it. Sorry, somebody said something?
She just needs to mute.
Oh, okay. I feed off very much the energy that comes from when a group of people come together, especially for a positive and a righteous cause. And it just inspires me to be able to, bridge the gap with people and be able to educate people on things that they may not be aware of or, things that may make them uncomfortable. I've been recognized by the city of Fremont and Alex Lee for my advocacy for the trans community and my work with Fremont for Everyone. And that passion goes all the way back to as a kid. I was always doing theater and performance. Public performance has always been the thing that drives me and brings the best out of me. Like the more people that I'm around, the more excited and the more I want to be able to do what I can to help bring people together. And public speaking, whether that's public speaking or, helping run the many town halls that I have planned that I want to do. And also just being able to you know, I really feel like some of our best work truly was during our fight against the camping ban, because it really just galvanized so many people in ways that has been harder in the past to be able to get people to be galvanized. But I saw the passion in so many different people because of the fact that they really just cared so much about those who need the most help. And as someone who's able to take that energy and use it for good and be able to motivate people on a grand scale, that is what it truly, not much brings me more happiness than being able to help galvanize, that fighting spirit for humanity. So that is what I see myself as in this group.
Thank you very much, Jenna. It's too bad that Lisa dropped off, but I did want to take a moment to thank the former leads, David Bonacorsi and Lisa Dance, for their service. Many years. Their participation dates back to the days of HNC and rallying and emails and not just the things you see in city council, but behind the scenes, all the organization, the admin, the website updates, the bylaws updates. Our organization is what it is because of them, and so we do want to give them a great big thank you. Next, sorry.
Said huge thank you. Yeah.
And we hope that you
third that.
And so as we kind of move into the next half hour, I'm going to give Isaiah an opportunity. And I think what I'm going to do is just give him the 3 questions that I asked the rest of the group. I'll give you about 5 minutes. If you need a little bit more, that's fine. But you can organize your thoughts how you wish to. Just give me one moment here, and I'll get these back up on the screen. Okay. So let me know if you can see that.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself and answer the first question: what has been your experience with housing advocacy in general, and specifically with Fremont for Everyone? Question number 2, please describe your vision. What goals do you have for the group? And what unique skills and knowledge you bring to the leadership team? So you can answer that in however you wish to, and I will give you 5 minutes here.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much again for hosting and for the Fremont for Everyone team having this candidate forum. So we're all able to just talk about our ideas and what we want to do moving forward. I'm Isaiah. I'm a local artist and animator who's grown up in Fremont my whole life. And I'm also currently a manager. So I know how to do public speaking, and also just people have told me that I'm a good listener. So sometimes it might just seem like I'm quiet or thinking about something, but it's just me trying to slow down and think about like other people's experiences and think about like what everyone brings to the table and perspectives that might not be my own. So I'm hoping that my experience as a manager, as a person who's grown up in Fremont my whole life, as someone who's more politically involved, that I'll be able to help us continue to take housing advocacy and visibility for this crisis to the next level. And in terms of Fremont for Everyone specifically, I really want to get more involved in terms of things that engage the community. So not only like helping, like having more events where we are talking with unhoused residents about what they need, and like having another event like the barbecue, for example, which was such a success at the Washington overpass and at Lake Elizabeth, but also what was I gonna say? Also, like having things like the Beyond the Bridge screening. We've been talking about that for a while. Like, I know we have a good connection with Council Member Desiree Campbell. Like, just having events like that where we can raise awareness about how this really is. This has been so misrepresented as purely a mental health issue and perhaps like a substance abuse issue, but how really such a multi-pronged and compassionate approach is needed. Not just compassionate in word only, but having events that educate people about how we truly can be compassionate through policy, like locally and statewide. And there's so much power in local, even it's easy to be doom and gloom, but there's so much power in local advocacy and local policy and like having a good start there. And in terms of unique skills and knowledge, what I've already brought up is my experience as a manager, my experience as someone who's worked with children for a long time and been a childcare worker for children of people with families going through special things. I don't know how many details I can give about that, but just working with people who have gone through serious circumstances in previous volunteer opportunities, and yeah, just a variety of experiences. I'm here to listen, and I'm here to continue to work with others to just make this even more effective and raise the alarm bell. Like, just because the ordinance has passed, we need to be working harder than ever. We should not be more relaxed now that the city at any time, if they wish, could be less chill, if that makes sense. So thank you for hearing me out, and I'm excited to continue to raise awareness and to advocate for housing and civil rights, things that should be basic common sense for all. So
I'll also say, Isaiah, you bring fabulous nails. I love that color.
oh my gosh, thank you. I didn't, how do you notice?
Whenever you moved your hand up, I could see the nail color.
Okay, thank you.
Love it. Keep killing it.
Thank you so much. Truly an artist in different ways.
Also, great speech too. Great answer.
Great. Yeah, that was great summary, and in a third of the time. So at this point in the forum, we generally open it up to any questions the membership might have. If there aren't any, that's okay. We can also always conclude at that point. I'm just going to go check the chat, but I will welcome any of the participants here to either text or they can unmute and ask a question. If there is, then those will be limited to 1 minute. And I think we will have maybe have time for 1 or 2 of these at most. So take a look. All right. Sounds like you guys were very thorough in your answers. So with that, I wanted to take the opportunity to thank every single one of you for stepping up and really keeping this going. This organization that has meant a lot been a beacon of hope for a lot of people in the community. When, for me personally, when I first moved here, I thought everyone here was a bunch of entitled, homeowners. And until I found this group, I was like, I never thought I really had a home here. I never really thought that people here cared about anything else other than themselves. So this is a great milestone. This is the first time where our whole leadership group is not one of the founding members. It's a huge, yeah. There was 5 of us at the beginning, and this is kind of an affirmation that there's a need for this, right, in our community, and the work that we're doing is good and useful and valuable to people. So I know David left, but from the bottom of my heart and everybody else, we wish you all the best. We're always lifelong members. Yes, fight the good fight. There's a lot of work to do, and I'm really excited to getting to work with all of you guys. Thank you very much.
I'm excited for all the fresh new blood.
Yeah,